The Fediverse is kind of like the early internet. That might sound weird, but just follow along with me. You have these big emerging rooms where a lot of people hang out, but anybody out there can go and spin up their own, and a lot of people do that, and these fairly niche communities start to form. But a lot of the servers in the Fediverse have basically no sign-up protection. A lot of them have completely open sign-ups. So what would happen if, I don't know, some script kiddie out there that had a bunch of free time after school decided to go and exploit this fact and start spinning up accounts on a bunch of different instances to send out spam? Well, you would get what happened over the past week on the Fediverse. Now, the form of these posts did change a couple of times, so there's no guarantee that each of the attacks is by the same group, but considering they're all pointing to the same Discord server, it's probably fair to say they're all by the same group. Firstly, it started with a wall of Japanese text, which is fairly easy to deal with because pretty much every Fediverse platform does have a way to filter out keywords. One admin tried to filter on konnichiwa, which is hello in Japanese. Not the correct term to filter on. Instead, they filtered on the Discord link. Now, because that kept getting dealt with, they instead swapped over to an image. And basically, no Fediverse platform has filtering tools for images. Firstly, it was a picture of spam with the Discord link on it. Then, it was just the Discord link itself. Now, I cannot take credit for doing the research in this video. This video would not have been possible without the incredible research by Cappy of Fear Labs and all of the other people who are spending a lot of time just researching deep into this rabbit hole. This is the first post from Cappy. This is maybe about 12 or so hours after everything got started when someone actually went and did some research into it. There's currently an incident involving some kind of Japanese skids, a script kiddie, who called themselves the Kuro Neko Organization, the Black Cat Organization. They seem to be attempting to commit DDoS attacks on Misskey servers, constantly creating new accounts on compromised instances and spamming advertisements for their hacking services. Misskey being a Japanese Fediverse service. You can tell it's Japanese because of this thing. Admins who are federating with these compromised servers, while they might not get compromised themselves, may be affected by the sheer amount of traffic volume from their spam. Admins are advised to block or temporarily stop sending requests to affected servers for now if they don't want to get secondhand DDoSed. Whilst the main target was Japanese Misskey instances, it was leaking out into the rest of the Fediverse, with users over on Mastodon, Pleroma, Lemmy, and a bunch of other services all being hit as well. For example, I was on Mastodon, and I was getting a bit of spam as well. It wasn't as bad as Misskey. The Misskey instances were getting absolutely hammered, but they were tagging a bunch of people, so if you happen to be in their user list, you would get some of it. Now, initially, there weren't that many affected instances that were sending out spam, so you could very easily block all of the servers. The problem is there is a lot of servers out there with absolutely no sign-up protection. So you can just use throwaway emails, you can make 100 accounts from the same IP address. No matter what you do, you can just keep going. So there was a lot of servers out there to just easily exploit. Now, initially, some people were making light of this, but a lot more people were kinda concerned. For example, here's Joshua Strobel. If we could get better admin level blocking in Mastodon, that'd be great. Woke up this morning and blocked 12 more instances in a pointless game of whack-a-mole with spam. And for legal reasons, this is obviously a joke. I am seriously going to have to go to Japan and personally hand out ass beatings. And also this one. This person isn't concerned about threads spamming the Fediverse, but because of this instance, the Fediverse spamming threads. FYI, as we look at spam on the Fediverse, I do think there are things to prep for today to prepare for whenever threads federates. On that day, if/when it happens, I don't worry about spam hitting us from threads. I worry about spammers setting up shop here to flood the 160 million threads users. We need to prepare for that day to be a good neighbor with our own houses in order, for the good of the Fediverse and the good of the open social web in general. However, that's just where we started, and the story goes way, way deep from here. So remember how I mentioned Kuro Neko? They are a real organization. However, they are not at all responsible for this attack going down. In fact, they are actually the biggest victims in all of this happening. This is a false flag to get people to harass them. So who are Kuroneko then? Well, it seems like it's just a bunch of Japanese kids that run a Discord server and offer Discord bots like a Twitch translation bot, a Genshin bot, and a couple other things like that. Like, absolutely nothing out of the ordinary, just totally normal Discord stuff. And the group that seems responsible for the actual attack seems to be a group called CTKP, who does have a bit of a history with Kuroneko. Back in December, they got into a bit of a disagreement with the leader of Kuroneko, and as is a normal response, doxed them. Because that's what a sane person does. Now, during this whole attack on the Fediverse, there was a Mastodon user going around who seemed like they were involved with it, who were constantly talking about changes happening to the bot and all of this sort of stuff. That user, called AP12. This is not actually AP12. AP12 is one of the admins of the Kuroneko server. This was someone impersonating them to make it seem like they were involved in doing the attack. And this is what Cappy had to say. I'm getting really tired. Summary of today. Someone on a Japanese hacker forum decided it was a good idea to spam the entire Fediverse because they wanted to cancel a miner that DDoSed a Discord bot, which apparently made them lose millions. That was the disagreement they had. I don't even know if the DDoS even happened in the first place. A Discord bot. I can't make this up. The real culprit seems to be someone who goes by Mume in the CTK Par forums. That is a splinter off of CTKP, whose first post was literally a threat to AP12 that if they don't delete their Kuroneko server Discord bot, they will spam every blog, forum, and SNS and cancel them. This is ridiculous. The AP12 account from Mastodon Japan was actually fake, and this dude impersonated a miner to get all of the Fediverse, us, to bully him. The forum admins didn't even stop this. Why? Lols, apparently. I have found some more information on this CPTK. The Jap bros probably already know, but they're just skids. Most of them are kids. Literal 11 to 14-year-olds. They have done many raids in the past. They DDoSed 2chan back in 2022, and they've taken legal action against them. Their old group imploded due to infighting. That's why there is now the splinter group CPTK Par. According to the Kurosawa wiki, yeah, that lawyer who got doxed like 100 times for being a 2chan troll, their leaders have been doxed multiple times. The Fediverse is being spammed by literal children. Most of them don't know how to write code. Most of them are just script kiddies. The Fediverse has so few protections in place, literal 1996 level email spam is damaging to the ecosystem. Now, I definitely can't show most of this, but these kids are really trying hard to get Kuroneko in trouble. So they have been sending death threats whilst impersonating Kuroneko to the Miyazaki provincial government, to Misskey HQ, and a bunch of other organizations. These kids think that they are invincible and nobody has any idea what's going on. Turns out that because they've been doxed many times, there are now rumors floating around that they have been expelled from their school and also detained by the Japanese authorities. This cannot be confirmed, but it is what is floating around Japanese Misskey. Now keep in mind, kids, for the most part, are kinda dumb. So this CTKP seems to be a CCP-themed Japanese troll group, mainly made up of middle schoolers. They are most active on Discord, and their primary activities include raiding and nuking Discord servers and targeted harassment. You know, like what's happening in this case. And their server has a lot of CCP-themed propaganda about their group's leader. Now, this is not the first time the group has garnered Western attention. A year ago, this happened on Discord. Is anyone else getting these botted accounts joining servers, sending a bit.ly link, and leaving? Anyone know what this is? CTKP. This is the exact same group doing the exact same thing. This time, it's just directly on Discord though. I didn't see any of this in my Discord server, at least that I noticed, but you may have seen it yourself. Whilst we can't say definitively what their ultimate goal here is, we can make some pretty educated guesses. In this raid, it seems to be to make people associate the Kuroneko server and their authors as a criminal organization. Kuroneko server describes themselves as a volunteer organization formed by a group of students, operating various Discord bots. There is no public evidence suggesting any wrongdoing on the part of Kuroneko server, making this a false flag operation intending to harm their reputation. Keep in mind, much of this is still developing, and some of the details very well may change. Cappy is working on a public report, and much of this video is also based on the draft of that report. I'm not going to release it until Cappy is ready to release it, but when there is a link, I'll leave it down below. Until then though, if you are a Fediverse admin, you should read this post by Eric Uden. Basically it goes over everything you need to do to basically mitigate this problem. Now the problem in this case is over. Is over. Well, maybe not anymore. But everything that is being mentioned here is going to affect you in the future as well. So it's best to put it in place now and make sure you know exactly what needs to be done, because this is not going to be the last time there is a spam attack on the Fediverse. As long as there are instances that are open to complete open sign up and have no protections in place that stop random people signing up, this is going to happen. So I really hope that Mastodon, Pleroma, Misskey, Lemmy, all of these different platforms start working together on different solutions that can be put in place to make sure that it's just a little bit harder for something like this to happen. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect, but the current state we're in, where there's nothing, can't get any worse. And thankfully, some discussions are taking place over on the Mastodon issue tracker. Things like, if an instance is really out of date, you shouldn't automatically federate with it. A lot of the instances that were attacked are these abandoned servers that are just still running, but nobody's actually using them. So they might be like 6 months, a year out of date, and nobody's even there to manage what's happening. So you just gotta block it and move on pretty much. And others are suggesting things like mCapture, a proof-of-work solution to be able to sign up in the first place. And that would definitely slow things down. I don't know what the correct way to go about this is, but it seems like there are people at least trying to work something out, and that's good. So let me know. Are you a Mastodon user? Are you a Fediverse user in general? Did you see any of this spam, or were you a lucky person that didn't get any of it, and you have no idea why you're even seeing this video? I would love to know. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and if you happen to be on one of the Japanese instances, I would like more insight on what's going on over on that side as well. So, let me know down below. If you really liked the video and you want to become one of these amazing people over here, check out the Patreon, subscribe, Pay linked in the description down below. That's going to be it for me, and don't be a script kiddie.